It's one of the most comforting and widely believed ideas in Christianity, that our prayers can change God's mind. We picture a celestial courtroom where we present our case, and through passionate pleading, we persuade the judge to alter his sentence. It makes prayer feel powerful. It makes us feel influential. But what if this entire idea is based on a misunderstanding? What if the purpose of prayer isn't to alter the divine will, but to align our human will with it? This might sound like an unpopular opinion, but I believe it's the hidden truth that unlocks the real power of prayer. And to see it, we have to look at what the Bible actually says about God's nature. First, Scripture is unequivocal. God is immutable. He does not change. In Numbers 23:19, it declares, God is not a man, that he should lie, nor a son of man, that he should change his mind. James 1 verse 17 describes him as the Father of heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. His character, his promises, and his ultimate purposes are steadfast from eternity past to eternity future. If he could be swayed by our petitions, it would imply our wisdom is greater than his, that we see a flaw in his plan that he missed. It makes God seem less than God. So what do we do with passages that seem to show God changing his mind? Like when he relents from sending disaster in the book of Jonah. This is where context is king. These passages are what theologians call anthropomorphic language. They describe God's actions in human terms so we can understand them. From our perspective, it looks like he changed his mind. From the divine perspective, his response was always part of his consistent, merciful character. The change isn't in God's eternal plan. It's in the unfolding circumstances based on human actions, which he already foresaw. If prayer doesn't change God, then what does it do? It changes us. It realigns our hearts with his. It is the process by which we move from being external observers of God's will to active, willing participants in it. Think of it this way. A child may beg their parent not to make them go to the dentist. The parent, in their greater wisdom and love, knows the dentist is necessary for the child's health. The parent's mind isn't changed. But through the process of the child expressing their fear and the parent calmly explaining and comforting, the child's heart is changed. They may still be apprehensive, but they begin to trust the parent's plan. This is a picture of prayer. We bring our fears, our desires, and our limited perspective into the presence of our Father's perfect wisdom and love. And as we sit with him, our stubborn will begin to soften. Our desires start to conform to his. This is the profound mystery Jesus reveals in the Garden of Gethsemane. He prayed, Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me. That was his human will speaking. But he concluded, Yet not my will, but yours be done. This is the ultimate model of prayer. It is not a demand for God to conform to our agenda. It is the submission of our will to his perfect one. When you understand this, it transforms prayer from a spiritual transaction into a relational transformation. The goal is no longer to get what we want, but to want what he wants. The power of prayer isn't in its ability to bend a stubborn God to our will, but in its ability to bend our stubborn hearts to his. So does prayer change things? Absolutely. It changes you. It prepares you to receive the good and perfect gifts that a good and perfect Father has already ordained to give you. It moves you from a place of anxious begging to a posture of trusting participation in a story far greater than your own. This may be an unpopular opinion, but I believe it's the biblical truth that sets us free. Free from the anxiety of wondering if we prayed correctly enough to change God's mind. Free to rest in the confidence that we are communing with a Father whose plans are unshakably good, and whose greatest desire is to make us more like his Son. If this reframe challenges and liberates you, you're who we make this content for. Subscribe to Bible Echo for more truths that aren't always popular, but are always rooted in the profound depth of Scripture. Let us know in the comments. How does this perspective change the way you think about prayer?